Canada's Wonderland has one of the largest roller coaster collections in the world. It currently has 18 operating coasters, including a trio of Bolliger and Mabillard coasters. Located underneath one of those Bolliger and Mabillard coasters is an aerodynamics custom looper called Dragon Fyre. This coaster literally stands in the shadow of Leviathan in the Medieval Faire section of the park. It originally opened with Canada's Wonderland in 1981, stands 78 feet or nearly 24 meters tall, has 2,160 feet or nearly 660 meters of track, reaches a top speed of 50 miles per hour or 80 kilometers per hour, and has 4 inversions. For an aero looper, it is a decent ride. This is our full-length, in-depth review of Dragon Fyre and our comments about what you can expect when you go to Canada's Wonderland to ride this coaster. Now, let's get into the review. Dragon Fyre is one of Canada's Wonderland's 4 original roller coasters. It is located in the Medieval Faire section of the park, just to the right of International Street. The Medieval Faire section of the park is one of the first sections you will see when you first arrive at the park. After you enter the park, you walk past some shops before taking a right immediately towards the Medieval Faire section. Once you enter Medieval Faire, you will see medieval theming, including a castle and ramparts. You continue further into the Medieval Faire section to get to the ride. After you leave the well-themed castle section of Medieval Faire, you proceed straight past the park's unique top-spin flat ride, Riptide, and turn to the right towards the ride. Before you enter the queue, you will see a small sign displaying the ride's name, as well as a metal dragon. This theming isn't anything spectacular. It is cool though. You walk in between the sign and the dragon towards the station building. Dragon Fyre's queue consists of a series of inclined switchbacks that lead into a lightly themed castle station building. When you reach the ride platform, you will see one of Dragon Fyre's 2 7-car, 28-passenger trains. These trains are Arrow's legacy trains with the ratcheting over-the-shoulder restraints. And because these trains are Arrow's legacy trains, they are fairly unremarkable. Once you have boarded your train, secured your over-the-shoulder restraints, and cleared dispatch, you take a left-hand turn out of the station into a short section of straight track and up the lift hill to begin your ride. As you crest the top of the lift hill, you go down Dragon Fyre's 76-foot or just over 23-meter first drop. If you are sitting towards the back of the train, you may get a slight moment of floater airtime going down the drop. At the bottom of the first drop, you travel along a section of straight track before going through 2 back-to-back vertical loops. As with any aero looper, these vertical loops pull some good forces, especially at the top of each loop. After the second loop, you climb up into a left-hand turn, which banks downwards into 2 consecutive counterclockwise corkscrews, followed by a climb up into the mid-course brake run. You then take a right-hand banked turn down into a 360-degree helix up into the final brake run, thus completing your ride. Dragon Fyre is a good roller coaster for what it is. If you have done any old school aero custom looper, you know that these coasters are hit or miss in the smoothness department. Some are relatively smooth, like Loch Ness Monster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, while others are on the rougher side, like Carolina Cyclone at Carowinds. Dragon Fyre is definitely on the smoother side. It is relatively smooth for an aero looper. While it is smooth during the vertical loops and the corkscrews, Dragon Fyre definitely has that aero jankiness on those turns in between the double loops and double corkscrews, as well as during that helix after the mid-course brake run. Aside from its smoothness, Dragon Fyre is decently forceful. One thing that aerodynamics did well was its vertical loops. Because of their profiling, aero vertical loops pull the strongest forces on the pullout of the loop. If you are not bracing for it, you may hit your head on the back of the seat. The loops on Dragon Fyre are exactly the same. Aside from ride smoothness and forces, Dragon Fyre is a short ride with a simple layout. After the first drop, Dragon Fyre essentially has 4 elements: double vertical loop, double corkscrew, mid-course brake run, helix. Those elements are classic aero, especially the double corkscrews. The double corkscrews are unique though, as they are the only pair of counterclockwise corkscrews on an aero looper. All the other custom aero loopers have clockwise corkscrews. Despite the corkscrew's uniqueness, Dragon Fyre does not typically pull large crowds. That means this coaster is typically a walk-on or at least a couple trains wait. Speaking of the trains, Dragon Fyre originally opened with 3 trains. It never used that 3rd train, however, given how the block zones are set up on this coaster. It would be very hard for ride operators to load and dispatch the 3rd train without one of the other trains stopping on the mid-course brake run. The park has used Dragon Fyre's 3rd train on its Vekoma boomerang, the Bat, which is quite clever. As mentioned at the beginning of this video, Dragon Fyre quite literally stands in Leviathan's shadow. The bulk of the ride's layout travels underneath Leviathan's lift hill and final brake run. While this placement makes for some cool visuals, Dragon Fyre can definitely get lost among Canada's Wonderland's other coasters, which explains why you can easily get this credit if you are a first-time visitor trying to credit run the park. That said, Dragon Fyre is a good aero custom looper and worth at least one ride when you go to Canada's Wonderland. Overall, Dragon Fyre is a good thrill coaster at a park with tons of roller coasters. As one of the park's only multi-looping roller coasters, Dragon Fyre is definitely worth at least one ride when you go to the park. For our final score, we give Dragon Fyre a 6 out of 10. While it has a simple layout, this aero custom looper has a couple of good and forceful moments. It is beginning to show its age though, as larger and more thrilling roller coasters like Leviathan and the new for 2025 Alpenfury come to the park. So, let us know in the comments below if you have ridden Dragon Fyre at Canada's Wonderland, and if so, what you think about it. And if you enjoyed this video or are new to the channel, please like and subscribe for more coaster content like this. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more coaster reviews and amusement park content coming soon to Coaster Adventures, and we hope to see you in the next one.